Stavros Tousios for M4Markets, and today I'm going to have a quick look at the prices of gold and also GBPJPY. Gold, it's in a wedge pattern, and we've talked about this wedge pattern for a while. Wedges come in two different variations, leading and ending. If leading, a pullback is expected and further continuation. If not leading, then it's expected to end into a reversal. Now, we see consecutive signals here coming, one after the other, okay? And recently, we saw a spike that we actually haven't seen for a while. This is a very big move to the upside with a candlestick on the 4 hours that looks kind of a bit more reversing because of how big of a tail it left on its move to the downside. And we are heading very close to the 1800s again. 1800s is a very important level. Breaking below is going to get us to the 1785 next, and then around 1730 next. These two levels are very important because they're not just swing highs, they are levels that they have actually turned from resistance to support. Now, we have to pay attention to this sort of trend line here because it will be the first thing to probably break rather than a support that is horizontal. And if we do that, it can be in different variations, a break with a retest and a further continuation, a break without a continuation, or perhaps even a move to the upside before we break and then continuation. This potentially is also going to perhaps give us a head and shoulders, and head and shoulders usually are followed by the 61.8 Fibonacci via correction down there, which means we'll probably see something like this, and then further continuation would also imply that this variation of the wedge is the leading rather than the ending. But if we fall straight from here without moving up to the 1825, then that would mean that we're not going to get another shoulder, right? Because the expectation is now to, not one of the expectations is to see the shoulder actually form. If we don't see a shoulder forming, then most probably, this is going to be followed by further downside. All the signals actually align, and there are quite a few as well. 3, usually there is 2 coming up, and so if not a reversal, as I said, a pullback could be expected in this case. GBPJPY seems to be the one that is rallying, but with very little strength, if that makes sense. So it's actually rallied from the bottom, but it did little in comparison to the other pairs. And combined with a convergence that we see, because we actually see a convergence here, we do not see any sort of divergences apart from up here. This is like medium sort of stuff that have already played out. Then what this means is that the convergence really suggests that we are moving along into the direction of the trend, and the trend is to the downside. Now, 23 is one of the levels to pay attention to. This is 161.65. The other one is at 163.70. But before that, we have the swing low at around 163. And guys, as long as we remain below 163, this is to be considered as bearish rather than bullish. Now over here we have the 161 that has already broken as well, actually today, and then the 162.63, which is still below this swing low. Again, these two are very big resistances. Now, since we've broken the 23.6, there might be some sort of potential for a further continuation to the upside in the short term. How viable is that though? Well, we use the channel. So if we look at the channel, it looks like it is quite it is viable that we get one more leg to the upside close to 162, and then we start falling from there. But if we use the Fibonacci extension here, the Fibonacci extension tells us that the 100% is already finished at 161.33. You might ask why it's important, because when we see corrections, and this is expected to be corrections, we usually do the 100%, not more, and then we fall. But if we continue up to 162.30 or so, it will still be okay. It's just less chances to turn. But only if we reach the 162.88, then the chances are going to tilt to the upside, okay? Because when we get there, it means that there is probably going to be a 5-wave move to the upside, which would then imply, of course, we're going to see something like this, deeper correction, or perhaps even a reversal, but I don't really think that's going to be the case. What I will be paying attention, of course, apart from the levels that we talked to the upside, is the median line, okay? Over here, and also this swing low. The swing lows are always important, guys. This one is around the 160, and then of course we'll go down to the channel over here.